All right, guys. So, welcome to episode 2, Siempre Humilde podcast. We're recording, same spot, same everything. We got another guest, very special guest, friend of mine, childhood friend. We got Edwin Robles with us. You want to introduce yourself, bro? Nice to see you. Been way too long.
My name is Edwin. I've known Alejandro since I think third grade. We grew up together, same neighborhood. A lot of the same stuff we grew up seeing a lot of the same stuff, so we go way back. It's crazy how life gets us together again. But it's awesome being here, and I'm excited that you're doing this. I'm really excited that you're doing this. I wish more people from our community did stuff like this, and it's exciting.
Nah, bro, thank you. It's a huge process. Huge, because, nerves. More than anything, when I did the first one, I'm like, man, do I really want to do this? Do I want to do it, like, after you see it? I'm one of those people where I don't like looking at my work, bro. It's just one of those things where you're like, you see stuff, like, when you're creative, I guess, you see stuff that you don't like or that people other don't notice. You're like, man, I could have done that different. What could I have done different? But no, like I said, thank you, bro. And like, as far as you're doing stuff that politics, bro. I don't want to jump right into it, but I mean, I can't do it. I mean, so yeah, but we'll get to that. Like he said, growing up, we saw a lot of stuff. We went from getting checked to being ordinary as nerdy kids, bro. We didn't dress like we didn't fit that part where we're dressing baggy and stuff like that, and you would get checked. So do you think stuff has changed? Like, just walking around as you see kids today? Because I feel like nowadays it's just more freedom in the sense where people feel more comfortable walking around the neighborhood.
Yeah, no, I think definitely like Cicero is no longer the neighborhood that we grew up in. There's a lot of pros and cons to Cicero. I think, I remember when we grew up, the stuff we would hear about happening, the stuff we would experience.
People that we know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd go to other parts of the state and I'd say, my name's Edwin, I'm from Cicero. And people would literally give me a look like, you're from Cicero? Like, whoa, like, because all they hear is like the bad stories, right? And then, even before when we were young, it was way worse in the early 2000s, late 90s. And even prior to that, man, historically, Cicero has had a bad history. They used to call it the sundown town because if, you were an African-American, you couldn't be in Cicero. Like I think they burned the first like African-American family that like moved in here. They burned their house down. So it's like it has a history to it, and like people just have that as their memory, Al Capone, all that stuff. So, but going back to like our childhood, I think it's definitely gotten better. Cicero used to be a place where my parents would be like, you can't wear these colors. The school, man, remember they would have these rules like you couldn't wear certain colors?
I couldn't wear fitted hats.
Yeah.
Like you tilt it a little to the side and then they're like, oh, now he's repping. And I grew up and, I have people around me that I used to know a lot of people that were in the gang activity. So it just makes it harder also where you're just like, damn. But nah, bro, like you said, it's people do give you looks. Why do you think that is? Do you think we changed that? Or do you think people still look at us a certain way?
I think that's a huge conversation about how our community has changed. Like the Latino community, right? We're a hardworking community. We come to like the Chicagoland area, wherever we go, LA. We come here with that mentality of like we want to build something for our kids. At least like our parents did, and I think it could go both ways, right? Because when you come here and you don't have the resources that another family might have, your kids can go a different route. And I think we saw a lot of that. And I have friends who had a stable family, but certain things didn't go their way, and they didn't go the direction that they could have gone. And then you also have families or situations where you have like a tough upbringing, right? Single family. It's like mine, right? And then you're still able to strive because it depends really. But our community is a hardworking community. We're a community that like venimos a echarle ganas, right? Yeah. So I think a big thing that's changed is that, not even changed, but like I think our community values education a lot and like I said, hard work. So it's slowly getting better. I think it's a huge issue now. Still, I still hear things happening at Morton. Kids getting expelled, fights. There was, I think last year, like a gun at Morton West.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like it still happens, but I think with time, I think social media is playing a role to it. I don't think that our generation is going through the same issues that this generation has. A lot of that is like social media, whatever. I go on tangents on different things.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I love Cicero, bro, because one, it's what made me, right? People ask me like, why do you stay here and why do you like care about it so much? It's my backyard. It's like, why do you love like, your home, like, your house, or why do you love, it's what made you, right? I go to almost all these stores. I go to all these different places around the community, and I walk in and I feel like I belong, right? So I think that's why I'm going on tangents, but that's why I care about it so much.
And I feel like sometimes you need those struggles because it makes you who they are. I feel like us, where you don't have the resources, you look for a way. So if, like, let's say I was wealthy, right? I can jump on, start a podcast. I have the money invested in it, as to where you're clawing and digging your way as through college, or your parents are like, don't get a job, even though they're working 2 jobs just to put you through college. And I feel like we look at that and we're like, our parents gave us everything and we want to better it. So let's say when you have kids, you're just like, all right, so what can I do to teach them the same level of respect? Because these kids are, like you said, social media.
Yeah.
No type of respect. Or some do. It's just different now, bro. And Latinos, I think a lot of kids fall into gangs because our parents work 2 jobs. They work late, so they're not there. So you have more freedom where you're like, oh, well, so if my parents are out late, I can go out and do these things. You meet people, they influence you into drugs, which is what I saw a lot. So do you think Cicero can use more resources to, like, after school programs, stuff like that? Because I feel like they're doing a better job because you're seeing less gangbangers. But I feel like still, like, they're just more focused on, like, policing than anything.
I mean, that's an opening a can of like just a whole lot of different things. Going back to like the original point about Cicero, like, so, I see Cicero in a way that, okay, something you mentioned, right, about like the struggle, right?
Yeah.
And the struggle makes us. I think there's 2 things, there's 2 sides to that, because I do think that there is a part of our community that pimps the struggle. I don't know if you heard of that. Like, I actually recently heard of it, but it's like they
use it to their advantage or stuff like that.
They're not really like a part of the community. Like, and I think that's something that like I always try to like talk about, because you can be from a very bad area, but I don't necessarily think like that necessarily, or even then you might have moved into that area, whatever. But I just feel like there's a difference between like knowing the community and being a part of it, and recognizing the struggle and living through that struggle, but also kind of like being a bystander in the struggle and like kind of just watching all that happen, which is still affects you and stuff like that. But I have noticed that a lot of people claim the hood, but they're not really like in the hood. But I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But going back to Cicero, what Cicero needs, I don't know. Cicero needs a lot. I think with time, like with anything, man, like Cicero is a place that has opportunity. We're right next to the 3rd largest city in the U.S., Chicago, Illinois. To me, the best city in the world. I've been to L.A., I've been to New York. No city compares. People are saying Miami. There's nothing better than Chicago.
I just feel like there's so much to do here, different aspects, and
dude, you have
so much opportunity. Also,
you have north, you go all the way north side. You have amazing Indian restaurants. You go to Little Village, you have some of the best Mexican restaurants. You go to north side, northwest side, you got some of the best Puerto Rican, Central American food. South side and west side, some of the most like institutions like Harold's, and some people argue about Uncle Remus. Downtown, bro, you have some of the most like historic restaurants. Just that's food alone, right? But Cicero is located right under 290, right next to I-55. You have a Metro, you have an L. Like, I think Cicero, and this is a hot take, 10 to 15 to 20 years, I think Cicero will be in a very, very different spot. I think that right now is one of the few places around the Chicagoland area that's not Chicago, that is affordable, and that I think is going to be worth investing in. But I could be wrong. So I don't know.
You can swear, bros.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, all right, so you said that it's good to invest in. Do you feel, why do our people, like Hispanics, everything, we want to get away from Cicero? I'm one of those people where I guess now looking at it, but let's say when I turned 18, remember, I can't wait to get a job, do this, to move out of Cicero. Yeah. But when you really look at it, I go to all these white neighborhoods, like not white, well, like other neighborhoods, and you just look at it, bro, and it's just like it's not the same because I'm so used to having everything around me. I can walk to the store, I can do that, as opposed to driving everywhere. Why do you think we're so eager to get out of Cicero instead of bettering it? But like, how can we get involved? How can we get into politics? How can we invest in our school, give money to our schools, tell our kids that they can do it instead of just pushing them to where everything's already made. Instead of letting them know that they can work their way up, they can change. Why do you think we're so driven to move away?
I think that's another good question. So you put yourself in the situation of a Mexican, family, parents. You come to the U.S. and you're looking for a better future. The number one thing that you're doing this for is most likely your kids. So when you move into Cicero and you have enough money, like let's say you find that great job, some of my family and friends, their parents got a good job. So around 6th, 7th grade, we're in Joliet now. We're in Romeoville. We're in Naperville. And I think it has to do with the fact that you want to get away from the potential things that are going to put your kid in harm's way. So one of the things that you've noticed in the city or just in the state, the Latino community has migrated from being in the like Chicagoland area to now being in the suburbs. I don't know if you knew this, but Illinois lost population. So that means more people like left the city. I mean, more people left Illinois than moved in.
Yeah.
The only community that grew was the Latino community. That means that, so that one of the biggest things is because immigrants are still coming, Latinos are still it's a growing population. And they're not just moving into the city, but they're moving into the suburbs. And that's kind of where we're making kind of like our communities. You'll go to Elgin, you'll go to, Joliet, Romeville. There's pockets of our communities out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm like a, Mexican dad and, I'm like, well, if I have enough money to move to Joliet, have a better school, whatever, keep my kids away from gangs, then that's kind of the one mentality. The other one is we associate our community sometimes as ghetto, as trash, right? We see other kids or other, schools when we went to go visit or play against them, they would have these nice homes, these nice cars. And you would just be like, well, I want to do that. And they equate to moving to those communities. I'm a big proponent of Naperville's nice. I don't need to go make it nicer, right? What I could do is with our community's wealth, our generation, bro, and this, our friends have become lawyers, have become accountants, engineers. Some of them are entrepreneurs now. I have a lot of friends that are realtors and they're doing really well for themselves. I have a lot of friends that are, going into different avenues of businesses that aren't, traditionally educational. And I think that itself is building our wealth. Now, I'm not going to say don't move, right? If you want to go and live a nice house in Naperville, whatever, that's awesome. But imagine the growth that you can be a part of in building a Cicero that is reflective of what you want to see in the community. Because that's how you get more gangs sometimes, more issues, because you kind of have all the wealth leave. And then, who stays? It's those that can't afford to leave, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's again, going into politics, I'm involved and stuff like that. But feel free to ask away.
So how'd you do that, bro? Because when we met, I honestly never saw you getting into politics, bro. Probably lawyer. I saw you as a lawyer. And maybe that was just you being the personality that you were. What made you say I want to go into politics? And now you're so involved, bro.
Yeah.
What made you be like, all right, this is what I want to do. I'm actually interested in this. What got you to that point where you're like, I'm going to the university to do political science?
Yeah, that's funny too, because I was thinking about the picture that you promoted this with, the Lori Lightfoot one. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for having that picture up there. People don't know that. I mean, people were mad that I posted that picture with Lori because they're like, oh, he's a Lori Lightfoot supporter. If I see the mayor of the third largest city in the world, I'm gonna take a picture with the mayor.
Of course.
If I'm in the mayor of LA, mayor of New York, of course I'm gonna take the picture with them. I was at the Mexican National Museum for a ceremony. And she happened to be there, and I'm like, oh, I'll take a picture. But yeah, no, I'm involved. So you're right. Third grade we met.
Yeah,
we didn't know what we were gonna be doing, but I've always kind of I didn't really know I liked politics. I just liked reading history and stuff like that. I had a book of presidents, so I had all 50 presidents or how many ever there were. I think George W. Bush, right? Yeah. And I would read that all the time. So I remember one time I'm in history class. And the teacher's like, can you name the 5th president? And I would just go and go and go. And then everybody's like, damn, Edwin, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm like, I just had this book and it always kind of intrigued me about the different lives of these politicians. I joined the Bay team. I got really involved with politics. I really like it. I ran for office in Cicero.
Yeah.
I think it's it's a big conversation to have. Everyone thinks that politics isn't for them. Politics is for everyone, bro. If you want to have a successful business, at least take it to the next level, you have to have some know-how about politics. And I think it's important to just kind of be involved. For me, it's about my passion. I like it. Everyone's always like, you ever seen Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
I'm always having this conversation with friends. I'm like, there's a Game of Thrones happening right in the city hall of Chicago. You have some of the most biggest drama happening, backstabbing going on, these big personalities. It is literally like sometimes a movie. The shit that happens in City Hall, the shit that happens in the neighborhoods here in political, like it's out of this world. And to me, it's at this point, I don't want to say it's entertaining because politics affects people's lives, but like we have a Game of Thrones happening right now with the city. So I don't know. That's kind of why I like it. And of course, I want to make my community better. That's one of the biggest reasons.
So like you said, get involved in politics. Like me, bro, honestly, when there's a presidential election going on, or like I'm voting for the town, I know the major candidates, bro. All that other stuff, I kind of just freeball it. We're like, all right, so I'm a Democrat. Let me do one Republican just because I don't want to be like nothing but Democrat.
Yeah.
What would you suggest for me, let's say next election? What can I do to better resource myself to know what they're going to bring to the table, as opposed to me just being like, listening to other people just being like, oh, you got to vote Democrat. We've always been a Democratic state. What resources can I use, or who can I speak to? Obviously you, of course. But what can people do that be like, well, I don't vote because I don't know what I'm voting for, or it's always the same? Yeah. What resources can they see to different policies as to what they look at, what they actually stand for?
I mean, there's a lot of different ways to get involved. I'll say this. One thing that's worked for me is telling people, what do you care about? What's an issue that you genuinely care about? And at least go vote for that issue, right? If you know of one candidate, like let's say you're pro-abortion or not pro-abortion, pro-choice, or like, anti or pro-life, go and vote for that issue. I always tell my friends, I'm openly a Democrat. People don't like that I'm always sharing that because they call me a lib or whatever. I'm pretty like, progressive, but I'm a pragmatic progressive, right? I'm pro-business. I'm pro like, I'm not anti-police. I believe in police reform. But so that conversation of like, I'm a big proponent of telling Latinos to go out and vote. You know why? Because Latinos are the second largest demographic in the country. We're not, a minority anymore. We are in California. We're like, I think, second, but there is no majority over there. There's like literally like white people are under 50%. In New Mexico, the same thing. And this trend is going to keep going to the point that Latinos are either going to surpass the white demographic in this country. So my big thing is like, when it comes down to our community as a population, we're huge. But where's our power? Okay. And everyone's always like, power? Why are you saying power? Power's a bad word. Power is evil. Power is the ability to act. As a community, how can we act? We don't have the ability to... There's this term called self-determination. It's my ability to determine my future. Latinos, I don't think we're there yet. We look at our positions in the state. How many positions of those of power do we have as a community? So that's my biggest thing right now, is trying to encourage Latinos to go out and vote. Latinos, but not only that, I want Latinos to start donating politically. Like, that's my big thing. I'm trying to get more Latinos to start giving $1, $10, $15, because now you have stake in the race, right? Even if you don't agree with a candidate 100%, you like him, you're like, you know what? I kind of agree with you on some of the issues, but I'm gonna donate $5, even if it's a Republican, which I'm not a Republican, but I have a lot of Republican friends. I'm just trying to tell them, go donate to them, because that way you're getting more involved in the process. So I don't know. I'm that family member that my cousin texts me, so who should I vote for? And it's at first I was like, yeah, it's easy. I'm gonna tell them who to vote for and get the votes that I want. But now I'm like, I want you to be more mindful of what's going on.
Understand what you're voting for, as opposed to just being like, all right, I voted for this guy because Edwin told me to vote for him. Mm-hmm. Well, why else? Well, that's because my friend told me. So it's like, I get what you're saying. So yeah, I mean, donations. Yeah. I mean, that's good to know. I've never been one that's like involved like that, bro. I've had people come up to me, yo, you want to donate? You kind of just brush them off. You kind of just be like, bro, leave me alone, man. Like stuff like that. But I mean, I get it. I get where you're coming from, and I hope people do listen to this, or people listen to you, or like, They just see from things where I have friends that are Republican too.
Yeah.
But I'm all for it. You're a Democrat.
Yeah.
I consider myself a Democrat, I guess. I mean, personally, why can't some people have conversations with the opposite parties? Why does it always have to be, oh, you're a lib, oh, you're this, that, you're that? Why? Like, I've tried to have conversations with people, bro, and they're like, oh man, this is that.
Yeah.
And I just feel like as us, we got to do better to like, all right, why do you support them? Why do I support them? Stuff like that.
So that's a good point right there. I have family that's like super pro-life. Like they're 100% like I can't support anyone that supports abortion.
I think that's a lot of Latino families.
Yeah, no,
though.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's more like with the older generation than the younger ones. The younger ones are more pro-choice. My biggest thing in terms of like trying to kind of bridge that gap, I'm a big proponent of telling young Latinos and young individuals in the community, learn what compromise is. Politics is the art of compromise. It's like you have an idea, I have an idea. Either one of us is going to get our way and you're not going to get anything, or we're going to find somewhere in the middle to get to the closer to the point we want to get to. But yeah, America, that's a huge issue in the US, dude. Like, I mean, that's beyond my like scope of trying to influence it. I'm trying to focus on my backyard, the city. I mean, I love looking at national politics, but that's a whole nother game because that's divided like crazy.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, the city, we just went through one of the biggest elections that I've ever been involved in.
Honestly, bro, I thought Vallis was gonna win.
No, I did too.
Honestly, like when I saw that, and people are probably like, "Oh, why would you say that?" I honestly like the whole day. I'm like, "Well, this guy's gonna win. He has more money, more stuff like that, which is what influences a lot of people. Money is power, bro.
Yeah,
and people don't like saying it, like money doesn't make the world go round, bro. Money makes the world go round. Because
but you know who has a lot of money? The Latino community.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we'd rather tear each other down than help each other get it.
Yeah.
So
we donate to the church. We'll go donate to I don't want to say nothing, but we go donate to the bars. But when it comes down to building our actual power, we don't do that. We don't donate where it matters. I promise you, well, I don't even need to promise you. It is a fact. The Latinos, like the entrepreneurship within the Latino community is one of the biggest backbones of this country. When they say immigrants don't pay their taxes, that's a bunch of BS because immigrants do ITIN, basically it's like a tax ID for like a foreign business, and they're paying their taxes. They're paying into a system that they don't get anything in return out of it. They don't get Social Security. They don't get any welfare benefits. So they're paying into the system. So Latinos are huge contributors to this economy, but we don't contribute it to politically to build our power. And that's a big thing. I'm trying to encourage younger Latinos. I'm like, look, donate and build a relationship with a politician. Who's someone that you want to know? Because we always think about these politicians as these monolith, these head honchos. No, you need to see them for who they are. They are servants of the people, and building relationships is a lot easier than you think. That's why people are always intimidated. How did you go up to like mayors and stuff like that? It's like you just have to break that barrier. Once you're broken to it, you recognize that they're just going to want to talk to you about maybe sports or whatever you want to talk about. Of course,
it's like they're regular people. End of the day, like they got a lot of stuff to say where they're like, oh, I don't want to say the wrong thing, or everybody's being recorded now, bro.
Yeah, dude, that's
everything you do or say now. It's like a huge part where in any industry, I feel like in any industry they're gonna try to tear you down. And like back to what I said about like brushing off from topics a little bit. Hispanic communities, bro, we're our own biggest enemy because let's say you have a business and I go up to you like, hey, bro, I really want to get into this. You're kind of going to brush me off because you're like, why should I help you? And what if you get bigger than I am? So now you're just kind of, so like, el peor enemigo es un amigo, bro. Because, it's like your friend's like, oh, yeah, they're proud of you, but they're like, man, I should be there. So I just feel like there's just so much of that goes on. And I feel like that relates to politics too. But yeah, man, I mean,
it goes to that like saying about I'm gonna botch it. It's like the crabs in the barrel, something like that.
Yeah.
How like the one crab's getting out, and what do the other crabs do? They pull them back in.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I definitely think that as much as I think we're growing out of it, we are definitely doing better in trying to like address it and not trying to be that way. I mean, I think now I'm seeing more Latinos collaborate with each other. They're like, damn, we've been doing this to screw each other over this many times, and look where we're at as a community. I think slowly we're saying, look, if we kind of work together, we can get a. So think about politics as like a pie,
Yeah.
right? And the pie is the resources that that's within the government and all that stuff. We're always fighting for that little tiny slice of the pie, right? We're like, oh no, I want it, or whatever it is that we want to get. But, if we actually work together as a community, like we can get a bigger portion of that pie. I'm a big believer of this saying. So when it comes down to being involved politically, if you're not on the table, you're on the menu. And Latinos need to take their rightful seat at the table.
Yeah.
Because for too long, we have been on the menu. People have been deciding what they're going to do with us. I think it's time for us to kind of recognize that, look, we are a huge community. We're a powerful community. We're a rich community. We're not pobrecitos anymore. There are struggles within our community, but I think there is an opportunity for us to kind of band together to grow ourselves and I don't know, and grow the community.
No, yeah, of course. But, like, I don't even want to use the word because I feel like I truly don't really understand what it means, like gentrification. You said there's a lot of stuff in Cicero to grow. Do you feel eventually we're going to get to that point where you have businessmen and stuff buying buildings? And because rents are skyrocketing, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, there's like so many people that just move out because they're like, I can't. I have 2 jobs and stuff like that. And it's just, do you think we're ever going to get to that point where like, oh, you guys are trying to gentrify us? Like Little Village, Pilsen, stuff like that. They're trying to, but...
It's tough. It's tough because Cicero's like very, very family like oriented. And I'm gonna take this off real quick just because it's a little hot.
Get yourself comfortable.
So Cicero's like a very family kind of community. We have a lot of, I don't know. It can go either way. I think Cicero in the long run, gentrification is tough because it can happen. It can happen with any community, but I'd like to see gentrification from within where it's our wealth. And even Pilsen, dude, people don't want to admit it, but like Pilsen was gentrified a lot because of like Latinos that became wealthier. They're like, I'm going to move to Pilsen. So like a lot of it is wealthy Latinos living in Pilsen. That's tough, man, because like you start pissing one side off, right? You want to see your community develop. You want to see your community grow. Unfortunately, when you start having nice businesses, new businesses, you're going to attract different communities to come live in the community. How do we maintain our identity without, sorry, I'm burping because of the beer.
You're good.
How do we maintain our identity without kind of like, becoming a community that doesn't even look like the one that we grew up in? I think it's going to be tougher for Cicero to kind of lose that identity because we're like, look at Little Village, bro. Decades and it's still like Little Village. I think Cicero is going to be the same. It can happen, but it's going to be a long time. I don't mind it though. If we have nicer houses, that's cool. I love bungalows, bro. I'm a huge fan of them. And sorry for talking so much about politics. It's my world, but I'll talk about whatever. Bro. I mean, it's viewers will be like, damn, this motherfucker don't shut up about politics.
It's not even that, bro. There's a lot of people where, it's like you asked me, like, why'd you start this podcast? I love reconnecting with people. I love talking about different things because I like expanding my knowledge. I don't just want to be like, oh, well, politics, I don't care. Like, yo, can we come on and talk? Nah, bro, it's not my thing. Like me, a lot of this information you're throwing at me, it's new to me. So it's like I'm one of those people where I pick up fast. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I can do this, I can do that. So now let's say you hit me up, right? You're like, hey, Alex, we're doing this event for a fundraiser. Now I'm going to be more open to going where it's like, oh, I'll go donate, or I can't show up, but where can I donate $50? Yeah. So now I'm open to it because I have the knowledge of knowing what to do.
And I think that's one of the biggest things about, like, I'm pushing for Latinos my age, right? They always talk about this networking, but I just think it's so important to build relationships, especially in politics and especially if you have a business because... And I mean, this, permits, having knowing how to get certain resources so your business stays afloat. There's chambers of commerce that help young Latinos or whatever, not even young Latinos in general that help you, get what you need to start your business or get your business to the next level. The resources are there for our community. And I'm a big proponent of just trying to say, and that's why politics is so important to me, because it's beyond politics. Isn't just voting and debating and politicians. It's the public arena, bro. It's relationship building. It's about knowing how to maneuver in this system, because it is unfortunately it's a game. It's a freaking dirty ass game. And you saw the race, bro. Like, you see all those ads, but there's a lot of reasons why people do the things they do. It's strategic. I mean, that's one of the reasons I like it. And to go into the mayor's race, back to the mayor's race, I mean, I felt like 2 weeks ago Brandon Johnson was going to win, because he was going to win the south side and the west side, and that like north, like kind of, young yuppie, or not even yuppie, like the hipster vote.
Yeah.
But it's about building relationships with the elected officials, because if you want to have a business in the city, it's good to know. It makes your life a lot easier to, like, everyone's like, thinks it's corruption. Like, no, I have a question to my alderman about how do I do this so that I don't, get another ticket or whatever. It's those things. So,
yeah. I mean, also, like, I feel like as people, as Latinos, like, growing up, bro, parents were always like, oh, I saw this on the news. They will believe anything they hear on the news just to not do research, bro. And I feel like, out of surely, I stopped watching them, bro. I'm not even a TV guy anymore. Like, I'm doing so many things where it's like, I don't want to listen to I don't want other people to think for me. I don't want someone to tell me I got to do it because I have to do it. If I have a belief and I'm strong on it, I'm going to act on it. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Talk to me about it. But I just feel like we, as younger generation, I feel like we're kind of breaking out of that, where we're telling our parents, all right, well, you raised me this way, but I want to look at it from another perspective. Yeah. And see what's going to better for me and my kids. Do you feel that that's happening a lot, where people are just breaking out of that box, that barrier, those old Hispanic things, where it's like stuff like that,
I mean, if you even watch the news and you're a, Mexican American who's, first generation, you're probably not watching Telemundo, and you're probably not watching Univision. I watch Univision and Telemundo when, like, Mexico's playing, because I like the commentary better. But beyond that, I'm watching CNN, or I'm getting my news on, like, so, like, different platforms. I'll even read, like, the Chicago Sun-Times, Tribune, whatever, because I just get my news differently. I know people get their news through, like, Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah, bro.
So
it's like social media, bro, and there's, like, anything you see now, bro. I can make a post right now. I can make a post right now where it says, yo, like, all right, like, let's say Joe Biden or some said something like this, and now it's gonna go on Twitter like that. If you have enough influence, if you have enough followers, people are gonna eat it up.
Yeah, no, and I think that's like a big breakaway from us. Like, our parents, like my family for sure. Like, I know family of mine that's like, I don't want to say addicted to TikTok, but I'm like, they're just in that. Bro, I think one of the worst things that happen in our community, you ever heard of the show Rosa de Guadalupe?
Yeah.
Bro, like, you know why I don't like that show? Because
they have an episode for everything, bro.
Dude, everything. It's like, you shouldn't do that because that Rosa de Guadalupe, this happened.
It's like, don't drink protein shakes because they're steroids. Like, bro, what?
Bro, I don't know. Like, I just be like randomly, like, seeing the shows, or like getting like reels about the wild stuff that happens on there. Yeah. It's like, that stuff is bad, because I feel, I don't know if it's bad, but it's just, sometimes it's a little bit misguiding to our parents, who, like, might believe that shit that's actually happening. I'm like, that's not the reality. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think we're growing away, getting away from that, and getting our news differently, and then being more, like, critical about shit. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna believe just about anything that goes online. So,
but yeah, bro, like you said, let's break away from politics. Let's loosen up a little, right?
So, yeah. Dude, talk to me about anything, dude.
Bro, like I'm saying, like, we grew up together. Do you feel like, what you been up to, bro? Like, besides that, what do you want to do? Not besides politics. You want to buy a house? You want stuff like that, bro? Like, talk to me. You still hit the gym? I know you do like runs and all. Are you doing the marathon?
I did the marathon last year. I'm thinking about doing it again. Unfortunately, bro. Yeah, dude, it's just a lot. It took a lot out of me last year. My schedule was just gone. All my summer, like, after work, I would just run. And, you want to run in the mornings. You tell yourself, I want to be that person that wakes up at like 5 a.m. Not even that, like sometimes even 4 a.m. because that's how much time you need to get a 9-mile run in. And honestly, dude, I don't know if I got it in me again, but I'm going to do it one more time just because, I don't know. I did it once. I didn't get the time I wanted. I did it over 4 hours, and I was on pace to do it in 3:30. But I want to do it at like a 3:30 and do it well and train well. I want to do Chicago, New York, Berlin, London, Tokyo, and I think the last one is Boston. But Boston you need to qualify for. So hopefully next year I do New York. But yeah, I'm gonna do the Chicago Marathon one more time, just to get it out of the way and get the time I want and train right, bro. Eating was a bad for me. I was not eating how I should have, and yeah, that's it.
Dude, that's the hardest part, bro. And like me, like everybody, like me, I go to the gym, right? And you're like, oh man, this guy isn't like in the best physical form, bro. But I progressed a lot to where I saw what works for me and what doesn't. I don't want to be the strongest guy in the room. I don't want to have a six pack like that. And me working in the industry that I work in, a lot of you don't know, I manage a liquor store, stuff like that. It's kind of hard to get away from not drinking because it's everywhere, bro. It's what we were talking about. The liquor industry runs so deep.
Yeah.
Where if I go to a game, I go baseball season, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, oh man, yeah, let me get an ice cold water. And like, no, dude, like give me an ice cold beer and I'm gonna, I'm a drink.
Yeah, no, I don't like baseball, bro. But if I'll go to a baseball game, I'm there to get drunk. Like I'm there to have fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I feel like us as an early age, like we were talking about, we get introduced to liquor so early in our age. But God forbid we smoke some marijuana.
Right? That's true, right? That's crazy. Like it's to our families, that's like a big no and stuff like that.
Yeah, bro. Like I have cousins in Mexico that get drunk at 15. You mentioned pot once, and now you're the devil, and they don't even want to invite you to family parties.
Yeah,
I'm like,
dude.
okay, it's like, it's crazy, bro. I mean, like I said, I never looked at us as me and you drinking. We were shy ass kids. Maybe not you, but I was a shy ass kid, bro. And people tell me, they're like, how'd you gain that confidence? How'd you do this? How'd you do that? I feel like we all changed for the better. Maybe some of us can be like, oh, you changed up. But I feel like me and you, we're doing stuff now where we can look back at our growth and our progression. And, I'm proud of you. And like I'm saying, I'm proud of everybody. But, yeah, man, have fun, bro. Like like you're into politics. Do you ever feel scared, like, oh, I can't go out and get drunk because, like we said, recordings everywhere. So like, let's say you want to jump into that later on where you're gonna run for an office, and then like, oh, we have a video of this kid dancing on top of a bar, stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, I think that's one of my biggest things about just drinking and just being more mindful of it. I think now I have like extremely toned down my drinking because health reasons, right? I kind of want to just take care of myself a bit better. And then two, yeah, dude, like you can't go to these events and just get drunk. And because it's like there's a scope on you. Unfortunately, if you're not running for office and if you're not a politician, the scope is a little bit like less, but there's still a scope because people just want to like see anything and like, screw you over. But yeah, I am mindful, dude. Even sometimes like when I have like, even this podcast, I'm sure someone can clip it and like say Edwin, I don't even know, hates Naperville, right?
Oh, stuff like that. Yeah, they hate white people.
Yeah, stuff like that. And like it's always scary to like say things publicly. Every time a reporter, like I'm at an event, like, what do you think about this? I'm like, I don't think at all. Like I don't care. Because I just don't want to.
You're gonna freelance it, You're like, say what you want. People are gonna talk regardless.
Yeah, so it's tough, but I think at the end, I like doing things like this because I don't know. I think it's a good way to express ourselves and give a platform to a community that doesn't necessarily have a platform. I'm a big proponent of like reconnecting like high schoolers and from our community. For example, I have a friend that runs a not-for-profit and he deals with a lot of like Latinos youth and gangs. And I think it's important for them to see us, see the different industries they can go into, because it's so sad to like know that, sometimes, bro, I didn't really know a lot of Latinos that were lawyers. Actually, I didn't even know a Latino lawyer till maybe I was like 21. Like a lawyer, like a person who practiced law. All the lawyers I knew were from TV and they were all like, James and whatever. Like, so I think it's important to see those different career paths because it matters to us, man. It matters to be able to like show our community that we're more than just laborers. We're more than just this because we're a big community. And I don't know. Sorry, I'm going off tangents politically.
Yeah,
but
you're good.
But yeah, no, that drinking stuff, going back to that. Yeah, I'm trying to chill out on that because it just adds so much calories and yeah, man.
Trust me, bro. It's like there's like times where I drink and I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna drink a 6-pack, so I'm not gonna eat. I say, what kind of fucking logic is that?
Right,
Right?
that's fucked up, dude. I know people that like just would not eat all day because they wanted to save for their drinking at that night. I'm like, that's crazy.
That's
like,
insane, bro. It's
yeah.
like, you know, it's I mean, to each their own. Everybody handles it differently. I see nothing wrong with it. Maybe people are gonna be like, oh, well, you work at a liquor store. You're just saying. I see nothing wrong with it as long as you can control it. That's one thing I have respect about. Like people that I grew up with, they can hit it hard and they're gonna be up at 6 a.m. working.
Bro,
My
that's crazy,
respect, bro.
Bro, people at Guads that fucking like are just gone out of their mind, and then like the next day they're on like their Snap story, aquí chambeando and stuff like that. Like that's
bro.
crazy.
Yeah, bro. It's like, you know, my respects to you if you can do that. Maybe back then when I was younger, but now it's like, dude, a hangover kills me for 2 days.
That's crazy. Dude.
No, I don't think I could do it. I mean, I'm just like, you know, but yeah, man. I mean, like we said, and also back to the school thing. I hope people watching know that you don't. I tried school. School wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I didn't like sitting down. I didn't like stuff like that. Being told what to do, and people are like, "Well, you kind of still do because you have a boss." But it's like, all right, I have more leeway where it's like they're not grading me, kind of. But it's like if you want to do a trade, there's more stuff out there. There's more stuff you can do. Like this podcast thing. It's like, you know, like you said, it's nice seeing someone that I know doing it. It's something I jumped into.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of stuff. I learn every day. I take criticism. I feel like if you can't take criticism, you're never going to grow as a person.
No, absolutely. And I like that, you know, you're saying that because I do think that as our community, education. I'm a big believer to get your education for the sake of being an educated person, or like not just knowing a little bit more, but not know that is not the only path that's out there. You know, you have so much opportunities just being in the US that, of course, education can help you, but you don't even need to get your education right now. I have a friend, I actually have my mentor right now is getting his bachelor's degree.
Okay.
He is really doing well for himself. He's got his own company. He's had a very, very great career. And now he's finishing up his undergrad and he's like over 50. And he says he likes it like this. He says he has enough free time. You know, he's a little bit older. His, you know, kids are older. So he's really just going there to advance himself to like because he wants to. And I think college or education isn't linear, bro. And education doesn't have to be in the school setting. I mean, finish high school, just do that. That's important.
Because I see a lot of people like making money in like different industries, bro. And like, you know, I see you like I said, most of the people that I see now that
people are selling dogs. I've noticed that. That's crazy.
Huge industry. Shout out to my boy Joel.
Yeah, no, dude. There's my cousin. She has a dog that's like a $15,000 dog, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like that's an expensive ass dog.
There's money everywhere, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
And people don't realize that where you're like you can like, bro, all these specs.
Hey, adopt dogs. Just there's a lot of dogs out there.
It's like social media. Everyone can become famous, bro. Like honestly, I'm so glad. You know, like off topic, just jumping into music. What kind of music do you like, bro? Like, because I see your stories sometimes.
Hey, I'm that
bro. You're that guy that like I think he's at the gym listening to like rock music, and then it's like, all right, why is this dude listening to like reciting Young Thug lyrics? Like, what the fuck?
Hey, that's like the funniest thing about me, because I think a lot of people like see me, you know, this tall white Mexican. You know, I grew up listening to, you know, I think younger me was listening to like Eminem. Like I'm talking about like when we met, third grade, I was listening to like Eminem and like 50 Cent. And then I got a little older, you know, alternative phase, listening to a little more rock and whatever. But then like at my senior years, like whatever, I started listening to like rap again. I'm all over the place. Like college, I got really into country. I go camping a lot. Dude, I don't think there's anything nicer in this world than to be next to a giant mountain after you just hiked the whole thing and came back down and just relaxing and listening to country and, you know, just drinking with your friends. But yeah, no, dude, like people find it so weird that like I'll listen to Kodak Black, I'll listen to Young Thug, I listen to I mean to this day, man, free Young Thug, but actually no, I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about that case, but you know, Young Thug spoiled us for so many years, bro. I'm telling you, I think from 2013 to 2017.
He was on that run.
Dude, he dropped so many amazing albums. To this day, I think at least 10 songs are each and every one of my playlists that I make because he just, I don't know, man. He is a pioneer. I'm going to probably get a lot of people thinking like, what is this mumble rap, whatever? Nah, dude, I don't care. Young Thug is is a GOAT in my book.
Do you have a motive? Let's say you're gonna go out to debate, right? Do you have something you listen to get your mind right? Where you're like me, bro. Like honestly, I'm in my corrido phase for like 4 years now. Where people like when they met me, they're like, "Dude, you were hip hop. You met me at hip hop."
Yeah.
Now it's like, I guess just being around so many Latinos and stuff like that, and even like you said, mumble rap, corridos bélicos, tumbados, stuff
Yeah.
like that. These kids are doing it, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, I listen to that before I get in my zone. Like even at the gym, when I'm on my way to the gym, on my way here. Do you have what's your go-to music to get into that zone?
So on that, just on the whole like corridos tumbados and just like I'm a huge banda person. Like I love banda. I never liked Mexican music until I went to Mexico and I just started hanging out with like I have friends out over there and like they'll send me like the newest stuff. And banda and country, bro, they're neighbors, bro. They're right there.
You know,
with
I've
each
had a lot
other.
of people tell me that because
Yeah.
they look at me weird, where they're like, "Yo, you don't like country music, but you listen to banda." They're
Yeah.
talking about the same thing, bro. But it's
Yeah,
like,
no, exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And but yeah, to me, I don't know if I'm like trying to get in the mode, like in the mood to like do something like lift or like even sometimes politics. I don't know, man. I'll probably put some like I don't know. I think Lil Baby is probably like one of the most exciting rappers out right now. But I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, dude. I know Kanye gets a lot of hate right now. Kanye to me has still dropped some of the most influential albums of all time, and
Of course.
same thing with like Young Thug. He is in my playlist all the time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even this last album, dude, the song Hurricane, dude, was like on most repeated song of like 2022.
For
I
you?
think. Yeah.
I mean, everyone got their different aspects of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good, bro. I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of my music just comes from. I don't even keep up with it anymore. Like now, it's like if you ask me about a Spanish song, bro, my favorite artist right now is fucking Peso Pluma, bro. He's like 20 years old. You're probably, who the fuck is that
No,
kid?
yeah, you're right, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like I feel like I'm that person now that doesn't know the.
Yeah, so like, you know, you tell people that. I listen to it at the store. Some people give me these looks, bro, but it's like I like it. Like people are like, "Oh, that's not music." It's like people don't understand that music is subjective.
Yeah.
I don't have to like what you like. You don't have to like what I like. I'm a vibe to it. And you know, the funny thing, I was when I like going to like the city, like you said, because I'm used to being at Guadalajara's and stuff like that, Mexican vibe, ambiente, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was in the city last week with a couple of my friends after the Bulls game, and we went to this bar, like nothing but like country music and stuff like that, bro. And like literally, as soon as I walked in, I feel like all the eyes shifted to me. Like, what the hell is this guy doing here? So
Yeah.
I was kind of uncomfortable, but you know the songs, but you're like, this is not my mood.
Yeah.
Do you hang around like bars around here, or do
Yeah,
you
so
find
I'm
yourself?
the ultimate vibe killer, bro, because I have friends that like we'll go to out here in our area and it'll be like Mexican music and I'll get the touch tunes thing and I'll put country. And they're like, "Why are you doing that, bro? Like why are you like come on, dude?" Like and then the song will come up and they're like, "Edwin, what are you doing?" Like right away mad. But I'm like, I don't know, I think it's funny to like play that stuff and like I'm the only one singing to it. But then I'll also do the same thing. Like if I'm at like this white bar, wherever I'm at, or if I'm like in the suburbs or whatever, and I'm at a white bar, I'll get the thing and just play Mexican music.
yeah,
and like
bro. I love it. I love getting those looks. I love it. I'll
Like,
make you.
who's the one? Who is it?
Bro,
Like,
yeah, I'll stand up. I'm making you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And what? Yeah, I'm buying your shit too.
Yeah.
Like I'm making you feel uncomfortable. I don't care.
No, it's
like-
I don't know. It's fun to me, and I don't know. I think that's awesome about our culture. We have like so much music to listen to. Sometimes I want to learn more languages because like I'll be like, damn, I'll be exposed to like more more music and
more
stuff like that.
stuff. Yeah, that's good, bro. I mean, it's like like we're drinking beer right now. I mean, what's your go-to drink? Like, say you're out at a social event. Honestly, obviously, like my go-to is like a tequila soda. What do you get like at a social event? Are you like a Manhattan person and stuff like that?
Damn, bro, I have become more white, right? They're gonna say that, but I've been drinking like gin and tonics. Like that's
Okay.
just my go-to drink. I don't know why. I'll be honest, dude. I think during the pandemic, I watched so much TV. And there was a show called Mad Men that I watched like twice. And they would just make all these cocktails and stuff like that. And I would just like be bored at home. I would just make those cocktails myself. So yeah, I think like I got really into gin and tonics, and I'm not a big fan of Manhattans, but like old fashions and like those like fun cocktails. I have enjoyed that stuff more the older I gotten. I don't like to drink that much beer. I do love beer, dude. I'm a huge IPA person.
Just so many empty calories, bro.
Yeah,
so
right?
much
That's the big
fucking
thing,
empty
yeah.
calories.
But yeah, dude, I think I do let loose when I'm like camping. Like I'm a huge camper, and Another goal of mine is to like do every national park. I've gone three road trips already since I started this like camping thing. This year we're hopefully going to go to Seattle to do some mountains over there. But yeah, I just love out there drinking beers and like just I don't know. I think that's a good pastime, dude. Like I exploring nature and just I don't know. That's something to
See, but I feel like that's fun where you expand yourself to different horizons. Where me, I want to say up to like 2 or 3 years ago, I kind of reflected when I started this podcast, right? When I had this idea in my head where like I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. But I didn't because I'm like, I'm still hanging around the same people. They're not, like stuff like that where I kind of just brushed a lot of people off and I guess they felt some type of way. But as opposed, like, they would never hit me up. Like, let's say you were to hit me up, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Alex, let's go camping. You're like, what the fuck? No one's
Right.
ever. You don't even know what to say. You're like, is this dude joking or stuff like that? Everybody just wants to drink. I'm not saying there's nothing bad with that, but it's like, I just want to sit in a place where I can learn and you can teach me. Like, yeah, I love having fun, but I want to be in that table where people I can learn. Like
Yeah.
me in this industry, bro, I'm networking with. Like you said, I met the Nelk boys, right?
Yeah, that was awesome, man.
So-
I think you met like the Nelk boys and like I don't know who else did you. Is Steve will do it? Is he part of the Nelk boys?
Yeah, so they're like a big
Gotcha.
company, right? So they started a liquor brand, Happy Dad. So I met these guys, right? And it's like people be like, "Oh man, you're so lucky." They don't understand that what I did too was like business, where
Yeah.
I went to go network. I went to go ask them how they did it, what they did, what can work for them, what can't work for me. You know what these guys told me? We just did stupid shit.
Yeah.
That was their advice. Like they literally, that's what he looked at me straight in the face and he's like, "Dude, honestly, we just did stupid shit. I'm here to drink." That's what he said.
Yeah.
And and I'm like, "All right."
They're not there to give advice and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
no, but they're like, I did it doing. He's like, honestly, bro, do what you do, start a platform, do what you gotta do, and I guess that kind of fueled me. Where I'm like, all right, if they can do it, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
And it's like it's fun. It was real fun.
Yeah, no, I got to give it to these like YouTubers and stuff like that like make it big because, and hopefully like that's you in like what, 3 years right now? Like I'm one of the first ones, but
Yeah.
hopefully you have me back on
We
again.
we live and we grow, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna be like, yo, Edwin, come to my studio. We got this set up now.
Yeah. And it's to me that's awesome because like they put so much work and all they did was just keep doing it until it hit. I heard of like stories of other YouTubers and other artists that like they just kept doing it and it was bad. It was sometimes sloppy. It was sometimes whatever, but they just kept grinding at it until they got it. And I think that's kind of it, right? It's like just putting it out there. And sometimes like even myself, like when I want to start these ideas, these projects, I'm like so caught up in this whole, but I kind of want to get it right. I want to get it perfect. I want to get this thing.
Nothing's gonna be perfect, bro.
Yeah, it's just like getting it out there and fucking up and making sure that you're just continuously trying to do something. Because I think so I in politics, right? I host fundraisers.
Okay.
But even before that, I would do these events and do all these different like organizing stuff. Bro, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. There's no one like teaching you how to do this stuff. You're kind of just learning on your own. And maybe every now and then you have some guidance, but it's a lot of trial and error and a lot of like dealing with a bunch of BS. So, but it's just doing it. And the more you do it, the more you start kind of building, that reputation of being able to like get it done. So I don't know. I think for me, that's kind of my focus too, right? It's just continuously doing those things that I think I'm going to be good at or good at now that I want to get better at. And just failing a bunch of times. And that sound like those motivational like YouTube videos that I always but I catch myself watching them because
bro.
they're motivating. Like they get me to the point of sometimes like, damn. One time I heard someone say this, you're never going to regret going to the gym. And literally I'll say that like when I'm leaving my office and like the gym's like in the same building, I'm like, damn, I should just get the train and go home. But I sometimes remember those videos or whatever, like you won't regret it. You may hate yourself going to it. You may hate yourself changing, but you won't regret going to that gym. And like that to me is huge because like I leave and I'm like, damn, I'm really fucking glad I went to the gym. So,
Oh, bro, the gym saved my life. Honestly, you met me. I was a big boy.
damn,
I
yeah, you
was
were. Yeah,
huge,
you
bro.
were. Yeah.
And like that's what I heard too. And when you're young, you brush it off. You're like, dude, I don't care. The gym. But now, honestly, I'm gonna tell everybody that's listening to this, whether it's you want to start a podcast, whether you want to go into politics, hit somebody up and be that person who helps people. Like when people hit me up, how'd you do it? I'm just like, honestly, bro, I did it. I didn't let anybody intimidate me. I still go to this day. You know, I guess now when we get older, you kind of like have to make time.
That's the
one thing part. I'm gonna say. You're always gonna have time, because the way I look at it, people say, "Oh, I don't have time." It's like, how do you have time to drink for 3 hours in the night and you can't find 45 minutes out of your day to go walk for your dog or go work out?
There was something that one guy told while I was reading this like thing. It's a quote. Tell me what you value, and I might believe you, but show me your calendar, and show me your what is it? Your bank account, and I'll know what you value. Yeah. Because we like to tell people we care about this, we care about that, we care about this, whatever. But you show someone your calendar, and shit, if you ever sometimes like, I remember I was having this conversation not too long ago. I was kind of ashamed of the screen time that I had on my phone. I was like, damn, that's a lot of screen time on these useless apps. And same thing with like my bank account. Sometimes I'm looking at them, I'm like, you spent all that money on this stuff that, brought you like no, and I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy stuff, but it's like, we tell people we value this stuff, but in reality, the way that we actually move, it's a lot different. We don't, if a calendar actually tracked every second of your day, sometimes a lot more people would be ashamed of like, damn, I kind of didn't do shit today. So.
Speaking of that money thing, bro, it's funny because like, I think it happens with everybody. It happens to me. I see it a lot at the store. We're so hesitant to buy a $60 shirt that's going to make us look good. Like, oh, man, do I really need it? We go to the fucking bar. We go to the liquor store, bro.
Yeah.
Like, damn, $40 for a 24-pack? Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. And like, oh, man, what you argue with your wife. Like, why'd you buy a $10 shampoo? And she's going to be like, well, why'd you go to the bar and waste $100? And you're gonna be like, that's a whole other point. Don't bring that up. And I just feel like I'm learning as I go. I'm learning how to manage my money. I'm learning, like I said, like you asked me in the beginning before we started recording, what made you do this podcast? And I'm like, I just want to learn knowledge. I want people out there who see it to tell me what they want to see. Who do you want on here, stuff like that. There may be episodes where I just invite my friends and like, yo, let's drink and talk. Yeah. Maybe share some stuff we shouldn't share.
Yeah. Cut that out there. Or like, make sure to edit some of that stuff.
Yeah. But it's fun, bro. I'm having fun. I'm glad you came on.
No, and going back to that, having individuals that like can bring more to the table. I don't know if you knew this, but like Latinos, we are one of the like last communities, or one of the communities that invest least into their retirement, invest least into the stock market. We invest really just in like buying a house maybe, and like even then
that's our biggest asset.
We just pay that off right away because we don't want debt. So I am in by no means any sort of financially savvy to the point that I can consider myself to be giving advice, but I have been trying to like get myself more aware of this stuff because I don't want to get in the same traps that our communities have gone into, and being able to like talk to more people in the world of finance, because Latinos are there. We just need to talk to them, bring them in. And I think that's important too, like talking to those Latinos that have that knowledge, and how do we give that knowledge to the everyday, working Latino? Because how many of them actually have money in their retirement? How many of them have whatever? So I think those are conversations that I think are needed. Yeah. So
it's like a lot of people like live paycheck to paycheck, and it's sad, but that's just the harsh reality. But I feel like at some point in your life, you kind of have to look back, which I started doing. And it's like, people call you boring. People are like, oh, bro, like, why don't you go out? Like, stuff like that. Like, bro, like, honestly, I'm one of those people that I can buy a 12-pack and sit at my house because I know I'm going to get bored drinking and I'm going to sleep. Yeah. As opposed to where I'm at the bar drinking and it's like $40 for a bucket, bring me 3. And now you just wake up in the morning and you're like,
that's wild, man. Especially with Guads, man. Well, I don't want to talk bad about Guads, but,
Shout out Guads.
Shout out Guads, right? But it could be expensive out there. So they're getting like downtown prices. Yo, I wanted to ask. Hey,
what's up, bro? You can ask me questions too. Yes. We're here to have a conversation.
So, I mean, going back to Cicero, bro, what would you like to see in Cicero? Like, what is one thing that you would love to see in Cicero that could potentially make this community better? Man, I always like to ask people that because I'm a firm believer in like community engagement and stuff like that, and also like making, like, it's your house, right? How you want to make your house look, how you want it to look, But I was always curious to ask, like, what do people want to see? I have a friend that's like, man, why don't we have more soccer fields? Right? We're a huge soccer community.
That's one thing I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like the basketball courts on 16, like they,
Yeah.
they take them down. Like I get it in the sense where sometimes the reason is probably like a bad crowd hangs out there. But
Yeah.
give these kids something to do, bro. These kids like nowadays they're so hooked on their phone, where I want to see us go out and be active. I want to see kids out there playing softball like we used to do, playing football. Freaking wrestling, bro. Remember we used to wrestle when we were like in third grade for no reason, bro.
Shout out Vince McMahon.
For teaching us how to wrestle.
Bro, straight up. I think that shit raised me, dude. Like Undertaker.
It's like maybe we may have injured ourselves, probably could have killed ourselves, but
That's crazy,
Hey,
yeah. Shout out, what is it, Josh? I remember he was hitting in that wrestling stuff.
if you're listening, Josh.
Yeah, shout out to you, bro.
Have you talked to any of them? Elias, any of them?
Elias every now and then, but
Yeah.
rarely. Yo, back to the wrestling. What do you think about that whole murder? I mean, do you watch that stuff? Because I don't. But I saw a picture of Vince McMahon, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever. He looked like
Vicente?
Yeah, Vicente McMahon.
I mean, nah, bro. I think a lot of the stuff that we grew up with, you kind of outgrow. But
Yeah.
I would love, like you said, like I would love for kids to. I like when kids like see stuff like that. I love when kids are different, because I felt like we were always different.
Yeah.
We grew up in, going back to us growing up, we grew up where a bunch of my friends, a bunch of people I know, gaming, and they're like, how did you not get into it? I had family that used to gaming.
Yeah.
Not mentioning names. But it's like, if you know me, you know. So I guess I kind of just grew up and I saw it where as to what my family went through. And I'm like, why would I want to put myself in that position?
Yeah.
Where I'm going to be arrested, where I'm going to be stuff like that. And that's the best advice I can give to someone. If you feel like you shouldn't do it, don't do it, and don't let other people peer pressure you. It's the same thing as we went to. I'm going to do something because I want to do it. So it's like, let's say you could have hit me up like, oh, we're only going to talk about Democrats, Alex, and stuff like that. I'm going to be like, no. I'm going to be like, well, don't come on, bro. I'll find somebody else, you know? I'm just like, I guess that's just me like giving words of advice to people. I mean, yeah, bro, like I said, we grew up together. We saw a lot of stuff. And I'm glad that we're still here.
Yo, I mean, going back to that gang stuff too, it's like I'm always so sad because I do meet a lot of young kids who are, affiliated. Or I remember one time I was like in this block because there was like a situation going on, and I happened to be walking by, and this young kid is like, "This is my block, this is my hood. Like, don't be out here." I'm like, this kid's like 8, 7 years old, talking like that, and I'm like, damn, bro, you are so lost. Like, I mean, how do you fix a lot of this stuff, bro? It's tough. I mean,
it's tough when it's easier to get a gun than it is to get anything else, bro.
What do you feel about that gun control?
Personally,
I love asking people political questions, and like,
go ahead, bro.
I'm that person at work
ask away.
That's like, you shouldn't be talking about politics. I'm like, I'm the first person to ask.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
the most controversial.
When I bartended at your downstairs, don't talk about religion. Don't talk about politics. All right, cool.
Yeah,
I'm all for someone wanting to have a gun. You're gonna protect your home, stuff like that. I'm all for it. Okay, get the proper training and stuff like that. It's like I don't believe anyone should take your rights away, but I also feel like it's so easy to access a gun now, where I can cross a state line and do something and then cross back. I feel like we should have more of because we have strict gun laws in Illinois.
Yeah,
but yet we're one of the most criminalized states.
And it's all it's all guns from like Wisconsin.
Yeah, so it's like I can cross the state line to Indiana, get something, do it, boom, it's a burner.
Yeah,
they're never gonna know. I'm pro guns, and maybe people go, oh, like, yeah, like if you want to have a gun and you have the proper training, go for it.
It's crazy because I used to be super anti-gun. I used to be like, you have Australia, they have no guns, they have no mass shootings, until I shot a gun. Dude, it's the first time I shot like one of those.
You feel power, bro.
Well, it's
Tell me you don't feel power.
It's yeah, it's like it's a fun hobby, and dude, it's so ingrained into the American culture that you can never take it away. My cousin has guns and he loves them, and I doubt it's something that he's never gonna use them wrong, but it's like, I don't know, it's a hard conversation to have, but I like to ask people that because I'm personally in the same camp that you are. I think everyone should be allowed to get guns. Just go through the process, check yourself in. But there's a lot of money in that, like in the underworld of like making that's like selling those guns to people that shouldn't be buying. There's a lot of money in that shit, and of course,
bro.
Yeah,
you see it every day. I see it every day. Working where I work.
So the other day I was watching this video. It was a video of this dude. And this is like the dumb side of YouTube. It's like this dude that would go up to like people and be like checking them and be like, it's like the people like going to the hood and he'd be like, "What's up, Holmes?" And like just kind of like intimidate them and be like, what are you doing? Like, and like basically just trying to intimidate them and like, oh, you want to get dropped, or like you want eye drops, right? Like the dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
Bro, this guy would get like guns pulled on him all the time. Like that's crazy, bro. Just walking up to these strangers who you know might have a freaking gun, say the dumbest shit you can say to them, and the next thing you know, they just pull out a gun on you. I don't know. That's wild to me, bro. But I mean, views, right? That's crazy.
I mean, people do it for the clout.
Yeah.
People do it for the views. You know, if I wanted to, I'll be like, I'm not doing a podcast. I'm going to go do random pranks. But I'm just like, you just got to think about it long term.
Yeah.
Where you don't know who you're messing with. You don't know these people. It's the same thing I say to people that walk in anywhere, bro. It's like, you know, you get these people that act hard and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, I got it, and you know, I grew up. You don't know what the other person has. By the time I draw my gun, I already have a gun drawn on me, and then what? And then what, bro? So it's like I said, I'm pro gun. You have a gun. I have friends who are like pro guns. I have friends who are cops.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Some of the snap stories that I see in Cicero, have you seen that stuff? Yeah. It's wild, dude. These motherfuckers just out there doing the craziest things, and like, you know that the gun is not legal. I'm like, what is going on, bro?
I mean, it's what we grew up with.
Yeah.
And I feel like we praise it.
Yeah.
As a community, sometimes we do praise it. Remember when we were in school, people would fight and people would run to see the fights.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
So
that shit
it's
was exciting.
We're like, man, who's gonna fight today? Stuff like that. Like, you get hyped, and it's like, I feel like we're just like, instead of being like, oh, this kid likes fighting, put him into boxing. And that's what I meant about resources.
Yeah,
where we can take these kids, like, all right, why do you like fighting? Maybe you have problems. All right, go to a boxing gym.
Yeah,
like, you could be the next biggest boxer, bro. Like, you never know. Like, put these resources into these kids, into our community. That's what I want to see. I want to see where if I get stopped, I used to get stopped all the time.
Nah, see, not me, because I'm
like,
a white guy.
Yeah, but like I used to get profiled,
yeah,
and just from the people that I knew, you know, and like it sucked, but I feel like it made me who I am. Where I said, I don't want to do this. I want to be able to drive. I want to be able to be okay where a cop pulls me over, and you know what to do.
Yeah.
As opposed to always having that eyes behind your back where you're just like, shit, I have something I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I'm comfortable. And I have people that are businessmen, game bangers. They do everything. I respect them as much as I respect the other ones. I'm never going to judge anybody, bro. Never. Yeah. Anything else you want to ask, bro?
No, man. No, thank you for having me, bro. I know we talked about a lot of random ass things today.
Bro.
But I appreciate you having me, and I want to see this. I want to see this thing become big. And I know you got Mateo back there doing the good work. So
yeah. I mean, like I said, it all starts with a dream, right?
Yeah.
Everything. There's like so much work that like people, like, you know, when we did the first one, when are you dropping the other one? They don't understand that there's like so much work to be put in as also as getting somebody else to do it with you.
Yeah.
And it's just, bro, thank you for coming on. Thank you for bringing me some knowledge into the politics and all that. Like, people are like, why are you talking about politics? I say, bro, I want to talk about politics. I may not look the part where they're like, why the fuck is this kid talking about politics? But I appreciate the resources and stuff like that. And like, I don't know if you have like any page or anything that you want these guys to follow where they can stuff like that. No?
Follow your page, and remember to vote. And if you have questions, hit up my boy Alejandro, and then and then he'll direct you to me if you have a lot more questions, because he's gonna be knowledgeable by the end of it.
I'll get you connected. Guys. Well, thanks for another great episode. Shout out to Mateo back there doing his thing also. Like I said, man, keep grinding, keep doing your things. And remember, we were some stupid ass kids growing up, and we're doing things we want to do. So I just want to say to anybody watching, do what you got to do. Never let someone tell you can't do it.
And vote.
Get to it, man. And don't forget to vote, because I will be voting next time. All right, man. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.